Hello, students. Welcome to Social Studies class. This week, we're going to be looking at the protection of human rights and the rule of law. Last week, we looked at the rule of law, where we get to understand what actually is the rule of law. Like we have said and also have established that the rule of law is the supremacy of the law. The rule of law actually expresses that the law is supreme above every other situation. That simply means that when it comes to the law, nothing counts except the law. Today we're going to be looking at how all of that helps to protect the rights of the individual. We're going to first of all start by looking at the meaning of human rights. Human rights are basic entitlement and freedom a person automatically claim at birth as a human being, and these rights are also written in the Constitution of Nigeria and are protected by the state. The rule of law guaranteeing the protection of an individual right. The rule of law is a rule of reference that guide all human conduct and behavior. Like if you look at the principle of the rule of law, the number 3 there in the principle of the rule of law is talking about the fundamental liberty of every citizen. The rule of law sees it that it is very important that is given a priority in every country, and that every government in every country must ensure that the rights of their citizens are protected and that nobody is taken for granted or his or her rights is being violated. We will now look at the ways of protecting human rights and the rule of law. Individuals and groups can help in protecting human rights by doing the following. We have seen a situation whereby a lot of individuals come in to ensure that the right of individuals are not violated. We'll be looking at the first ways that individual comes in to protect the right of citizens is first of all sponsoring and supporting actions meant to reverse abuse of human rights. This can be done by drawing the attention of the citizen to cases of human rights violation through the pages of the newspaper, radio, and television. So individuals can come in to ensure that the right of citizens are protected. They often at times sponsor a lot of programs that will also help to ensure that such individual rights are protected. They also can promote such publications on newspaper, announcement on radio, or programs on televisions to educate the public, and also to bring to the notice of the public some ways that rights of individuals have been violated. To look at protection against the abuse of human rights by government or fellow citizens through protests, marches, or mass media. They also ensure that government do not violate or fellow citizens do not violate the rights of individuals. So they are always there as an eagle eye to ensure that nobody, in one way or the other, is being violated or his right is being denied. They're representing the affected person in court. People whose rights are violated can be helped in court by legal practitioners to ensure that their rights are protected. Often in time, either some lawyers who are also working as an activist can pick up a case of an individual whom they, for one reason or the other, felt he cannot afford the services of a legal practitioner. They can pick up such a case and do it free of charge to ensure that such a person get justice. So all these are what individuals do or groups do out there to ensure that people whose right has been violated, such persons are given a voice to ensure that justice is served to such individual. We will now look at group. I haven't looked at individual. Let us look at group that assist in protecting human rights of citizens. Those groups include civil society organizations, student union, trade union, ethnic association, legal aid council, etc. So let's first of all look at the civil society organization. Civil society organization is that body that stands as an umbrella body for all NGOs in the state. Like Edo State, for example, have what is called Edo State Civil Society Organization. So Edo State Civil Society Organization is an umbrella body for every NGOs that are, there fighting for the justice for one or two persons in the society. We have a lot of group. We have some that are there for the women. We have some that are there for the children. We have some that are there for the girl child, to ensure that the girl child is not molested, is not violated, and the education that is due that girl child is given. We have some for women, to ensure that women are not abused in their home. Their husband do not take advantage of them. Lately, we also heard a situation whereby the state government has to not even make it a legislative issues, where the House of Assembly had to pass into law that any a woman whose right is being violated by the husband can complain, and such a husband can be arrested and prosecuted, and sent to go serve for such a crime. So it is becoming very, very important that people's rights must be protected, and government and individuals are doing their best to ensure that such rights are protected. We also have cultural organization, trade union, support group, religious group, and women group. All these groups are there to ensure that the rights of every individuals are protected, are respected, are not violated, are not trampled upon, are not infringed upon. Because we must understand one thing, that everybody have right. It is where your own rights stop, another person's home may have begun. Like a common saying goes, that everybody have the right to swing their hand, but we must ensure that at the swinging of the hand, or as we swing our hand, we do not give a blow to someone at his nose. Therefore, the reach or the environment through which you swing your hand is yours, but you must also ensure that it does not now prevent another person from exercising his or her right. So the exercising your own right must not prevent another person from exercising his or their own right. Also, they also protect their members from human, economic, and political right violation through protest strike. Some are set up by the public, spirited citizens, human rights activists, with the aim of fighting for the oppressed people in the society. Examples include the NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress. We have Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, student union government, or student organizations such as the National Association of Nigerian Students, within NAS, can stage strike protests with a view to fight for and protect their rights. Besides this, they can stage protests against unpopular government policy. So there are times government make some policies that are not, looking more or less like anti-people, policies that is against the people. They can also come out to stage a protest against such a policy until government see reasons why they must reverse such a policy and make people-oriented policy that are people-based, policy that is solving issues in the society, policies that is helping the people to move forward, not the ones that seems to want to put the people in captivity, or want to make them further plunge into one thing or the other that even the people are trying to avoid. So these are various organizations who are out there to ensure that the people's rights are protected, is not violated, the people are not taken seriously. Then we will now also look at another one called ethnic unions. These are unions formed by members of the various ethnic group. They protect the individual ethnic and economic rights of their group. Example are the OPC, Odua People Congress. We have the UPU, the Robo Progressive Union, and the Bakassi. All these are the ethnic union that are there to ensure that their own people, their right is not violated in any way. For example, the Odua People Congress, they are there to ensure that the rights of their people are protected, and that any member of theirs, their right is not violated. The Yoruba People Congress also ensure that that same is done and meets them. We also have the Bakassi, who are also there to promote their own ethnic union to ensure that their people are protected. Another one that we're going to be looking at that is also very important is the Legal Aid Council. The Legal Aid Council, they are made up of lawyers that provide free legal services to those who cannot afford it. They visit prisons and attend to all cases of people in detention. This is to ensure that those who are legally detained or detained without trial get justice. They can also rehabilitate free prisoners. These ones are also very important. Like at the time in Lagos State, the Lagos State government set up this kind of Legal Aid Council. Lawyers were employed to work in these under this body to be paid by the state government. So any citizen in that state who for one reason or the other felt that his or her right has been violated is to come up to lay complaint at these offices, and also a lawyer will be assigned to such a person to follow that person to court, to represent the person in court and to defend the person, to ensure that that person's right is protected, to ensure that justice is served that person. They also visit prison to ensure that people are not just detained unnecessarily, to ensure that whoever is detained in the prison, his case has been opened and due process has been followed, lawyer has represented the person, a judge has finally passed sentence on that person, either for the fact that that person was eventually found guilty of the crime that at first it was alleged that the person committed. And if they also check, investigate and get to know that the person has been kept in detention for a very long time, they will ensure that that person is released immediately. Because they can also pick up the case, they can pick up the case in court, open up the case, defend the person, and when reasons are now seen that actually the person was detained unnecessarily, such a person will be released. These are a whole lot of things that they do to ensure that the rights of individuals are not violated in any way. And not to mention other things that they do, like rehabilitation of freedom prisoners. For example, someone has been given freedom who was serving maybe in any of the jail for some time. They can also pick the person up, they rehabilitate, they refine the person, and also ensure that the person is fully reintegrated into the society with everything that is needed for that person to survive in the society. They could help the person to learn a trade. They could help the person to register as an apprentice to learn a skill, and also find a way to begin to start raising a fund for his or herself, as the person will now face the real world to survive as it should be. These are all that we're going to be taking for today. And before we leave, let us look at conclusion. Do not forget, like I earlier said, that human rights are basic entitlement and freedom a person automatically claim at birth as a human being. And we also look at so many ways that these rights can be protected, and what actually the rule of law stand to achieve in all of this. So we've looked at every of these in so many ways to ensure that what is important is done. We've looked at how individuals can come in to help these persons who for one reason or the other will need the assistance of Some persons could be in the area of finance, it could be in the area of not being able to afford the services of a lawyer. Most often the time, most people are out there, they are suffering. They've been going through one issue or the other, and they cannot speak out simply because they don't have money. They are poor, they don't have what it takes to stand up to really challenge some certain things, and that could be the basic or the very reason they've been in the situation. So it's not like when you pick up this case and go to court that justice will not be served. So most of all these people are really just going through what they are going through simply because they don't have money to a kind of do what they need to do. So when an individual come in to help assist, to help them afford some of the services of lawyers who will go to the court to represent them, then you discover that what needs to be done will be done, justice will be served, and these people will also get a feel to understand that they are also very relevant in the society. And what the rule of law stands to gain for each and every one of us is that he wants us to understand that we as citizens, and as citizen or as human being that was born, given birth to, has right, and as such those rights must be protected. These are all we're going to take for today. I'll see you in our next class.